everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you're new here, hi, my name is April and I enjoy doing videos in the arena of all things that are enriched by lifestyle, that is enriched by motivation, inspiration, and mentorship. So enriched is the word of the day. So I'm so excited also for today's video, as it's another thought-provoking conversation that's going to be added to the Let's Chat About It series. And of course, we've got a special guest. And I'll give you a couple of seconds to kind of guess who that might be. So I want you to be able to sit back and relax. And as always, make sure you get a glass or a cup of whatever you like. And I hope that you enjoy the show. Hey, Mia.
Hey, April. Hello, Motivation Sweet family. How are you?
We're good.
Awesome.
So I have just shared what we're going to be talking about in regards to being a very thought-provoking conversation, but they don't know the title yet. Well, actually, I take that back. They probably do if they looked at the screen. It's been one of those days. So how are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, wonderful. I'm excited to be here on today.
Oh, and I love your peach or your coral.
Oh, thank you.
Very springtime.
Yes.
Well, of course, so I'm going to go ahead and let the cat out the bag, but the title does share it. We are going to be talking about what we would do if we had 24 hours and only 24 hours left.
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel a little bit like shook about that.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit too real. But that's okay. That's okay. So I thought it would be really nice to have this conversation because, you know, we've been talking a lot about being in a space of uplifting and empowerment, and it really just all around reshaping our mindset and how we are moving in the world, and just taking a lot of self-reflection, you know. And one of the things that I think is always good to do is to be able to sit back and assess what you're doing and what's working for you and what's not. And, you know, one of the questions that was asked, I think, quite a bit in my coming into my adulthood was what you would do within in 5 years of your time, or what you would do in 10 years, right? And sometimes you wouldn't know exactly what you would be doing in 5 or 10 years. You know, hope you're just trying to make it, right? So, you know, so I just was like, you know, one question that I always did like, but always felt a little nervous about because it felt like it had so much weight, was what you would do with 24 hours, and that's all you have. So I thought what I would do in this conversation is kind of add a little bit of a catch in it, I guess, or something that, well, really it's not a catch, but maybe a little saving grace. Because 24 hours for all the things that we may want to do won't be enough time if you got to travel, right?
No.
We won't call it catch, we'll call it saving grace. So this will be a conversation with anything we want to do in 24 hours, time and space. As far as traveling, there's no bounds in that. We look at it from the perspective, if travel is what you want to do, you just snap your fingers, you're there.
Gotcha.
And so that's the way, so we can get as much into that 24 hours. So of course, community, this is a good question for you to ask yourself as well, or your family members, your friends, whoever you're talking to, you know. And I would love to have you jot down in the comment section, like, what would you do for 24 hours? So, you know, you can comment on anything that we're discussing in today's video, and then definitely, you know, share about what you would do and maybe some things that are important for you. So I think this will be a little fun.
Yes.
I'm so nervous. I got to get it all in. That excuse does not exist. So I guess I'll start. We'll start off with what I'll do, because there's so many things in here. I'll start off with what we'll do as we open up our 24 hours, and then we'll kind of just move through the sections of the time. How about that?
Okay. Okay, great.
Okay, good. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm praying to God.
Oh, okay.
The very first thing. And the reason being is, well, because that's what I'm doing. And second, I need to make sure he understands that I am going up there. So, you know, I figure it's a good idea to just, you know, break that ice. And I want the full 24 hours to really bestow upon me some peace and serenity throughout those 24 hours. I want to, I want to feel like, oh gosh, I want to feel okay within everything that I'm doing. I want to feel that I'm not worried about the 24-hour aspect, but more concentrating on what I'm doing in the 24 hours. So I think it would be a nice way to kind of set the day. I always think of that as a nice way to even start your day anyways, whether it be prayer or affirmations or whatever works for you, a time that you take to have some quiet and speak with however, is always a good thing to start off your day. So definitely the first thing I'm doing is praying to God. And then the second thing I would say that would probably cover at least about half of the morning time. I do need a little bit of time into going to lunch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I would say I would definitely want to give like 30-minute increments to the individuals that I felt that impacted my life the most positive ways, and really have an opportunity to say thank you, not to really dwell on the fact that I wouldn't be here, so I wouldn't even share why I am doing this at this point in time. I just want to do it. So how about you? How would you start off your 24 hours?
That's a very, very thought-provoking question. And, I sat here and I thought about the movie Groundhog Day. You remember that movie Groundhog Day?
Yes.
How it seemed as if you kept living the day over and over and over again. But every time you relived it, you had an opportunity, if you chose, to do something different or to kind of calibrate any mistakes that you had and those kind of things. So as I thought about what would I do, wow, I would honestly, much like you, I would definitely want to look at a spiritual aspect, because I am a woman of faith. So I would want to make sure that my spiritual side, that I'm, definitely where I need to be in that regard, because that is something that's really important to me. So whatever, you believe in, whatever you think is important to you in that part of your special part of your life, I think that would be something important to consider.
Yes.
And, much like you, I would want to have an opportunity to talk to the people who have done something in my life that thank you really isn't enough for.
Yeah.
And if I had an opportunity, whether it be by phone or by video, or, even if I could see them in person, that would be nice too.
Yeah.
To just say, I appreciate what you did for me. I appreciate how you were there for me. I appreciate how you had my back, whatever the situation was. So just to have those moments, it would be really kind of hard not to tell them why I'm doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for me, it will be a little bit hard to, think that this is the last time I'm going to see this person. So that emotional side of it will be really, really hard for me to hold back and not say that this is going to be the last time I'm going to have a chance to see you. So that will be.
But you do know you have only 24 hours, right?
Yes. Yes. But as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about people that have made an impact on my life, and I don't think I have 24 hours left in my life. I don't know. None of us know. But the thought that is coming to me is, why not do that anyway? Whether I know for sure or not, I should reach out to those people and just let them know that you mean something important to me. I value who you are. I love you. I don't think we say I love you enough.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a young girl, I would enjoy hearing I love you from my mom and my dad, and I just don't think that we say I love you enough. I don't hear that enough. I hear a lot of other things, but I don't hear I love you enough.
You got that right. I mean, love is starting to be sometimes like hearing I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you really mean it or not,
Absolutely, yes.
That is such a lot. And I think that's so beautiful. And you're right, whatever you believe in, whatever it's spiritually your field, or however you come to that type of peace for you, I think, starting off your time is definitely a way of centering you. For focus, because again, you only have 24 hours, so you really do need to, focus exactly on what you need to do.
Yes.
So you can get that 24 hours in, And I love, me and you are a lot alike on this. It's so funny. But I love the concept of taking the time to, speak to those who really had that positive impact on you, really did things to make your day brighter, your life brighter, made you more intuitive to what, focus things that you needed in your life, or just being there for you whenever you needed, a shoulder to cry on, or just an ear, lent to you to speak, and they listen and, give you some sage advice, So yeah, I think that those things, it's a good way to start off that 24 hours. And so I'm thinking, once I mosey on out of the space of those 30 minutes for however many people they are, because I just have some time left there in the morning, because we got to hurry this up. I love you, and I'm going to see you up there. But anyways, I would then say I want to start traveling. So again, I will start snapping the fingers, and one of my places that I want to go that's on my bucket list is Italy. I really don't know why exactly, other than it's just beautiful. I mean, I've been fortunate to have been able to live in many places and to visit many places, but Italy has not been one of them. I was very close to going, and I don't know what happened. It must have been work, something of that nature, that prevented me from doing that. And now here it's, years later, and I still haven't made that trip. So definitely that's what I want to do. I don't know if I want to do Milan or maybe Venice. I want to go and see the beauty that is Italy. We had opportunities even in the military if we, wanted to kind of work things out a little bit. Maybe could have went to Aviano, but that didn't happen. It happened to a couple of my friends, but
Yes.
I never met, and I could never get there to visit either. So it's just, so definitely, I'm believing that Italy is probably the first stop, and then I'm going to trek on over to Egypt because I have to see the pyramids and the Sphinx. I just have to, and I need to just be one with nature and space. And I feel like once you're going out and seeing those different monumental creations, there's going to feel overwhelming peace around you anyway at that time. And I want to spend some time in those ancient, space. So how about you? How would you continue on with your 24 hours?
I believe that I would want to conquer my fear of heights.
Okay.
Yes, so I have a fear of heights, and I would like to skydive. I had an opportunity to skydive when I was in the military, and I didn't take advantage of it. So I would want to skydive.
I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that sounds like fun. Okay. So you're thinking you'll have warp speed training.
Well, it would probably be a tandem jump, I'm sure.
Yes.
Oh, the tandem jump.
So, okay, so we're like jumping out of a plane or something from very, very high. You know what I was thinking about skydiving? And maybe it's the same or not the same, I don't know. I was thinking about the glider. Maybe that's called something else. You know how you're gliding across and...
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Is that gliding? Is that just what that is, gliding? Okay.
I'm not sure what they call that, but you can have another person on it with you. So
yeah, that would be so cool. I had like a small story when I was in Panama City. Did I tell you this story? I don't know. Stop me if I did. But when I was in Panama City many moons ago, we were on the beach, and it was so cool because there's somebody that was skydiving and or parasailing or whatever the heck that was. He had the big flappy, things, and they were.
I know what you're talking about.
And I was waving from the beach, and I'm just, there's no way that person's gonna see me. He actually saw me, and he waved back.
That is awesome.
It really was. I felt like, oh my gosh, like human spiritual connection. It was so
that is really cool. That is really cool.
And
that is
like,
so cool.
And I was like, oh my god, you can see me. And I'm like telling the hubby, oh my god, you can see me. It was so funny. I was such a kid.
Oh, that is hilarious. Yeah, that is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love moments, like human moments, There's just so many things that are going on that are, oh my gosh, they're so negative. I mean, they really are.
Absolutely, yeah.
So just whenever you have moments in life, and when you connect with someone, even for a split second of time, it's nice because it's like, they see you and you see them, and so I really that's such a fond memory, and the fact that it's still a memory, the fact that I still think about that, obviously it was a profound moment for me, and I don't really know why other than that.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And so you're doing skydiving. So what you doing next after skydiving?
Well, as a kid, I always wanted to fly.
Okay.
If I had a superpower, it would be to fly.
Okay.
So
You want to
that
be
kind of,
invisible, but go ahead.
I would want to fly. So that kind of checks the box for something I always wanted to do as a child, and also just to overcome that fear of heights.
Right.
So I think it would be really cool to be able to do something like that, especially if I only had, a few hours to go. I mean,
why not go that way?
Why not?
I'm just gonna help him along. I'm already gonna be up here. So where would you like to skydive at? Like what areas would you want to go to?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Maybe the Grand Canyon, somewhere where it's very picturesque and very magnificent. So the first thing
lots of rocks.
Yes. Why not? Hey, why not? So the Grand Canyon. Yes. That would be beautiful though.
That would be absolutely breathtaking, actually.
Yes.
Just don't be on 2020 because you only have 24 hours to go. Okay?
Yes.
No, but that would be absolutely beautiful. And and I think of doing something like that again, you would be spiritually connecting somehow, because when beauty like that, is bestowed upon you, it takes you to another place. It really does, right? And just everything else seems to just kind of melt away. Things that don't matter, they just don't matter, right? So, oh my gosh. So I think that's pretty cool. Well, for me, after I've moseyed on from Italy and then Egypt, then I'm going to Africa. I want to go where it all began.
Okay.
So, yeah. I think about this a lot. One of the things that I actually want to do with my mom, and I keep bringing this up, and I had a friend of mine too, what he did with his mom was really special. He had, he was able to do some things with her in regards to kind of doing like a living journal, but he didn't get a chance to finish it, unfortunately, and that was one of his regrets. And so I've always kind of thought about that, it would be really nice to actually do an ancestry.com type thing and really go all the way back. For our family, to be in our family line. And I just feel like I've always been so connected with the beginning. I've always been so connected with what was, in a different space and time. And I guess for a person like me, I really enjoy history and learning about history. I don't enjoy all of what history has had to offer, but I do believe that if you don't know what was, then you're doomed to make the same mistakes. If you don't know what was, then that's what's going to happen. The evils of the world will repeat itself. And unfortunately, I think we're seeing some of that right now. And we've seen a little bit of that all throughout time. So, that's one thing I've always been so connected about the history concept. And so, of course, naturally for me, when they started coming out with those tests and everything, I said, I got to hop on that. So that's something I wanted to do. And I thought it would be really nice to really just, my mom has up to a certain place in history of information she knows, and so to be able to go and break that fourth wall, if you will, I think it would be really nice to really see the beginning. And what I find that is happening in my 24 hours is that I'm going back, and I'm going back to either elements of peace or what would be perceived peace for me, and then where the beginning of time is, which I thought that was quite interesting. That's where my mind goes, and I think it also goes to a place of reflection and recollection in a way that is just me and him. So yeah, I think so I guess I would be spending a lot of my 24 hours with God. So how about you? How do you think you would be wrapping up that 24-hour period?
So after I finish with my wonderful excursion, if you will, I would then like to do an African safari. I always wanted to do that. I love animals. I love exotic animals. So that would be just wonderful to be able to go to Africa and just to be in a safari and to see animals in their nature and not get too close, but just be close enough to be able to see them and just observe how they do things. I think that would just be wonderful. I would love to do that.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I mean, like one of my favorite types of animals, I think, and I'm not really Oh yeah, I guess they would be over there. Yeah, I guess so. My favorite is a panther. That's my absolute
Mm.
favorite favorite animal of all times. Like if I could have one and it's tamed and it would eat me, that's what I would have as a pet. I've always
Wow.
had like that vision of like, because one, I like strength, and I think that a panther is so sleek and mystical in a way.
Mhm.
But when you take one look, you don't mess with it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like it is. I love when you don't have to really say anything. It's the presence is there.
Mhm.
You know, I love strength. So that to me is like the epitome. Like I just, have myself on a nice little outfit and I be walking and you go to the door and you hear this like the what is that tapping it or prancing around and you look up like, oh shit, what is that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would love to have a panther. I really would. I did watch a show when I was a kid and they did have panthers, and I don't know why I was watching this at the age I was watching it. I don't know why, but it does haunt me a little bit. Although I still do like the animal, but I just know that the lesson I learned in that is you don't miss the feeding time. So as long as you don't miss the feeding time, you're gonna walk with your limbs and you'll be fine. But yeah. So I would love to go to do that in the African safari, which is. Well, I say, I would want to go back to Africa, and see certain spots. I would like to go to Ghana for reasons that I think you already know. And I think that it would be nice to just feel one with nature. Isn't that something how when you're looking at your 24 hours, we didn't say anything about buying anything or going on some shopping spree or going to meet some kind of individual who might have been a celebrity or something like that. Everything's been connected to being one with nature. And one with peace and one with just collective serenity. Really, that's what I hear and what we both would want to do. And I think that's interesting because there's this commercial that's out. And I don't know what it's to. So if you've seen it, then you know. Mm-hmm. And basically, he's saying we don't look at when a life is ended, for the most part, what we bought or what we forgot to do. What we're really concentrating on is either people that we spend the time with or doing things that make us feel good, no matter what station in life you were able to obtain in this life. So, and I think that's so true. Like all you just want is some peace all the way out the door, right? And hopefully be able to carry that to where you're going. For me, I'm going to the light, so it's going to be nothing but peace. So yeah. Now, when we're talking about the 24-hour and all things that we want to do in that time, what do you think is the single most element that you want to leave behind when it's time to transition over to the great beyond?
Well, I would say that I would want to have an opportunity to leave some type of inspiration or provoking thought with my godchildren. I think that, I see young people obviously as the future, and in their minds and their little worlds, they're only thinking about the here and now. Yeah. But I would really love the opportunity if I knew that I was in my last 24 hours to have my final moments, just being able to implant some seeds of wisdom in them. Just to let them know that, regardless of what happens in life, you don't quit, you don't stop, you are capable. There's nothing too hard that you cannot achieve if you put your mind to it. And just to know that it's important for them to believe in themselves. Right.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And like you can take that as a lesson through adulthood as well. You know? Honestly, like that, isn't that what we want to know? We want to know that we have the ability to create the life or the existence or circumstances that we want to, as long as we put our mind to it, and really set forth an intention of what it is you want to do. I think that there's so many things that we can look back upon and wish that, gosh, I wish I'd known that sooner. I wish that I had focused on that earlier. And so I say it's never too early to start getting those types of jewels. And, and being in childhood, to have all of that as much as you possibly can from any aspect is wonderful, because that's something you can take with you for the rest of your life and apply it to just about anything, right? You know, that wisdom and that safe space within you that you have the capability to do what you need to do. So yeah, leaving some inspiration, I think, is absolutely a wonderful way to, you know, kind of exit stage left.
Yes.
You know, kind of leaving the world in a better place in which it was when you came into it. So
yes.
You know, I think that's always a really nice thing to aspire to be. For me, I would want to leave a legacy. And that legacy will be those things that I have done in my professional life that I would be able to pass on to my next generation, which would be my nephew. And for him to have his security in that way, I would like to also encompass within that the element that you can be anything you want to be, no matter what challenges that you face, no matter what elements you feel may stop you, you can find ways to overcome those things. And much like what you shared about with your godchildren, I would want to have as a lasting memory that, you know, she didn't quit. She always kept going and kept going. So if she could keep going, I could do the same. So yeah, that's definitely what I would want. And that's how I would want my legacy to be, is to leave, first of all, a legacy. You know, something that they can hold on to tangibly and craft and make and build on beyond me, but still is a rooted connection between me and them in that kind of a way. So yeah, that's so sweet. And hey, let me show my glass for today.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I like that. That's really nice.
City, actually, I think it was my first painted glass. And we went to this like nice little Jubilee store, we'll call it, and he had these painted glasses. I thought these were so cute, and of course it's in the back of my cabinet, so I thought I'd pull it out.
That's so nice. I think it's awesome how you touched upon leaving a legacy, because if we knew that this was our last 24 hours, what type of legacy would we want to leave?
Right.
And that should really be a thought that we have each and every day of our life, because we don't know if this is going to be our last day, if this is going to be our final hour. And typically you don't think about those things, but there should be that part of you that says, you know what I'm doing today is going to impact somebody tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And hopefully it will impact them in a positive way, in a way that they want to continue to follow my footsteps and take it to an even greater level. You know, I think about when my mother passed away. You know, I didn't know that she was passing away. I had no idea. Things happened so fast, but literally it was within a 24-hour period that everything just shifted, turned around.
Right.
And for me, if looking back on that time, I just really believe that, you know, unfortunately, she wasn't able to speak to me. But when she looked at me, I could see in her eyes that she was letting me know it's really going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going on, but that doesn't mean you stop. You keep going. You keep doing your thing. And so, yeah, I think that leaving that legacy is really important, you know, and each and every single day that we live, we should be striving to make some kind of positive change, some type of positive difference wherever we are.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. I think that the ability to live your life in intention, live your life with focus, and live your life with the ability to pass on the wisdom that you have obtained to others is such a well life lived. You know, there's not a certain dollar amount that is ever going to be enough or exceed that type of legacy in life.
That's so true.
You know, people don't think about that if they care about you. Now, if you got a snap or a 2020 issue, then I don't know what to tell you. You're making yourself some new people around you. But when you are definitely you know, looking to go on and into happy and peaceful bliss, you know, leaving that type of okay is it means so much, and it means more than one could ever really realize, even in that moment, because that's what you hold on to. That's what you continue to take with you. And that is not what that is about. You want to be able to take on those things with you. So I think living your life with intention and living your life with purpose and meaning, and finding what that purpose is for you. Sometimes, I know purpose, and when someone says, hey, let's live your life in purpose, that can be very daunting. It can also be very overwhelming, because you may feel this enormous amount of pressure to figure out, what am I supposed to do? Sometimes you just got to take a step back and think through the things that make you happy, as well as things that give you satisfaction and joy, that also in turn bring some form of service for other people, because the amount of joy you get with that is enormous. So you want to look at it as a two-way street, because it really is. And I do feel like you are going to be emboldened to make these types of moves that you may not have thought to do in the first place, if you're looking at things in the sense of intent and focus and service to others in the same vein that you're looking for satisfaction for you.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's very important. You can't forget about yourself, and you can't make yourself number one in every aspect, but you do need to make yourself number one at times. Let's not confuse self-love, self-care with, how you step in every minute of your life. But, just remembering that when you keep those three, I think, elements as part of your journey, you'll get some great satisfaction out of that, more than you may even realize. And like you say often, you never know whose life you're affecting. You never know who you're helping.
That's true.
That's what we need a lot more of. It's just helping.
Yes.
And just be so grateful and thankful for the ones who already do it, right? And show us the ways of doing it more and better and all of that. So I think that's always so good. So definitely with intent of moving through with that, your meaning and your purpose of your life, and that's where it goes. So as we were kind of looking at the journey element and what we've done in the 24 hours and what we hope to have left, what would be something you would want others to remember you by?
I would want others to remember me as a person that showed love. That I was a person that showed love. I try my very best. I'm not perfect by any means, but I try to be kind to other people. I try to be supportive of other people. I try to just be there for other people. And, a lot of times we do things because that's what we desire of ourselves. Right. So whatever it is that we're desiring, we have a tendency to exude that because that's what we're longing for. That's the need that we have, a fulfillment to have completed in our lives. So I would want people to remember me as a person that showed love.
Oh, that is well, you know what? Mission accomplished. Because you are definitely that person, so you will always be remembered in that way.
And love comes in many forms. There's different types of love. It's interesting that we're having this conversation because I thought about somebody that I haven't had any contact with in a while, and it was really just kind of random to have a thought about this particular person. And I wondered what they were doing. I wondered how they were doing. And I wondered, if they thought about me. We were friends, and, she was a really awesome person. I enjoyed her so much. In some ways, somehow we just kind of lost touch. But I think about her a lot. I can hear her voice in my mind a lot of times because she had like a really high-pitched voice. And she would be like, oh, Mia. And I can hear her saying that. And so, if I had an opportunity to connect with her in some way, shape, or form, that would be something that would be just joyful. And, I hope that she knows that I love her and I love their friendship. And, I'm hoping and praying the very best for her.
Oh, well, there's Facebook.
I've looked her up on Facebook, and I wasn't able to find her. When I knew her, she wasn't a really big techie type person. So I don't think that would be something she would do. Maybe she would, I don't know. But I did try to look her up. And then the gentleman that she was married to at that time, I don't even know if they're still married. I tried to look her up under his name. I tried to look him up. I couldn't find either one of them. So, but you never know. The world's a small place, so maybe we'll end up, connecting some way, somehow.
Well, that's how I met, connected again with my best friend from childhood, through Facebook. And it took 20 some odd years to do it. I don't even know if the guy that does Facebook was even born at the time. But anyway. But I mean, at that time when it was really because we're talking the full 20 years has always been on my mind, and not knowing what direction to go with that, and really getting to a point where I was probably going to do the whole what is that, private detective type situation.
Oh, wow. Private investigator.
Yeah, like someone that does that. Because I remember back then at that time too, you would see a lot of those individuals that would be on some of the talk shows and stuff, and they would actually find people, Yeah. So I was thinking, oh wow, okay, that'd be actually kind of good to do that. I did go that route. I'm not really quite sure why I didn't go that route. I don't know. I guess this life got in the way, but yeah. So I was really happy when it happened. And now I do podcasts with her now.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's really a crazy place.
Yes.
And and I always said that God puts people in your life for many reasons, and she was just one of those people that needed to remain in my life. So that's just how it was, and now look, it's like it is. No time has passed, even though lots of time has passed. So wow. Okay, so I'm thinking for me, I'm trying to think, what would I really want someone to think of me? It used to be, I used to joke about the fact that, while they're gonna know me as oh, she worked really well. And I'm thinking that was probably not what I would want as a lasting thought, right? So that told you I need to make some shifts in, how I participated in life, because work was always such a primary element for me, and that needs to change, because although it had its rewards, it is not a life fully sustained with just doing that. I know that if you love your job or love what you do, that's great, but even there has to be limits to how much you focus on certain things. And I do think your time is really better spent when you're focusing on people, the ones you like. So, or maybe the much energy you give to the ones you don't like, that, and give it to the ones that you do.
Yeah.
But I guess at this point, I would want someone to think, or people to think, I guess a combination of the fact that she was really fearless, and that she really stood for something. She really stood for empowering herself, and I think that why that's so important to me is because I feel that when you are looking to try to always make yourself, better and happier and work towards a more fulfilled life, you have a lot of introspection. And I find that as the older I get, the more introspection I have, the more connected I am to that. And I also am definitely connected with, uplift. I'm connected with, seeing yourself when you may not feel that others see you. Taking up and filling up the space that is already designed for you, because of the fact that you exist. So that's very important to me. And so, I think that that's what I would want someone to remember me by, the empowerment, the element of I did it so you can too. So that's what I really want the most. And that, I was a good person. Just in case there's some reference checks that need to happen before I go up. I'm covering all bases.
That's a smart thing to do.
So this was really fun. It was really nice to just kind of, just sit back and think. I know it might sound like on the offset, a little bit morbid, maybe thinking like that. But I don't know. After these last couple of years, I don't think it is so much. I think that, when you start taking stock of your life and start looking at what's important and what you value, I think you need to look at, well, how would you spend your time if you only had 24 hours? And I bet you that if you looked at life that way, you would be trying to find more meaningful ways to participate in life.
Absolutely, yes.
And it would be a lot easier to cut those toxic individuals out, something we talk about a lot, because you ain't got time.
That's true.
That's
true. That's true. If we had known that we were going to be experiencing COVID, just think of all the things we would not have taken for granted, like being able to walk outside without a mask on.
Oh my God.
Being able to have physical connections with people, being able to gather together, being able to just go sit down in a restaurant. My goodness. I mean, just little things that we would do all the time and just, no big deal.
Right.
But then when we
movies. Like that,
go to the movies, yes.
Yeah, that was a huge one outside of the family situation and not being able to see people like that.
Yes.
That's our favorite pastime. So I was like, my gosh, we already, look, it ain't but too many vices I have, right? Work and TV and a movie. You take a movie, like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
So I miss movies. I have not been to the movie theater yet. I'm just not ready yet. So we're really heavily weighted on Netflix and HBO Max. But I do want to get to a point where, we'll get to go out and venture out more in those close spaces. I would keep telling the hubby, I just a little bit more time. I was like, we made this far, right? And we're like, come on, I want to really just, it's okay. I'm not rushing into things at this point, but it really did cause us to slow down. It really did.
Absolutely.
And, at this point, there's so many things I can knit or read or games that I'm going to play. Now I'm just I'm going to really take my life completely apart and let's see what I can do, start fixing those things. So a lot of that, I think, took place. And, you saw how many divorces happened right within those first few days of slowing down and shutting down, because people knew that there's no way that we're going to stay together. No, I thought that was quite amazing. They're all running to that. Because I'm not staying in this house for not an hour with you.
Wow. But that brings up another good point, just being able to have that, just being with your family.
Yeah. I
mean, some people literally went the entire time without seeing their mom, seeing their dad, seeing their brother, seeing their sister, seeing their children. So, that's pretty significant, if you think about life and how you're supposed to. We weren't born to be alone. No. We were born to have human interaction and to have relationships. So to have that just stripped away from us, just like that, that's tough. That's really tough. Psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, that's really tough.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And of course, we weren't going to know how these things were going to affect each one of us. I think for a lot of us too, who are used to doing, different things within our life that require challenge and, really getting outside of yourself, for us, like military is what makes me think of that. We've had to be in situations where you're confined to whatever you're confined to, and you just got to be okay with it. I've been deployed and I know what that feeling is when it's time to go, and you have to pretty much compartmentalize everything that you've ever loved into one space and just focus on what your job was in the place that you were going to be, so that you can make it back home safely, and then pray that you make it home back safely. So those are the things that I know that I really honestly held on to be honest. It's amazing what you will kick back to. And that for me, I think really helped in the issue, especially when we were start shutting down. I mean, you have your moments. Sometimes you get like kind of claustrophobic in the house. So, just go at least stand outside, because we were like afraid to even be on the sidewalk if there was any people around, But then I thought it was interesting how you start to see people walking and stuff like that. And they never really obviously had the opportunity to do before, and stuff probably just so they could see somebody else besides
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I saw a lot of that in my neighborhood too. People people just walking their dogs, walking their kids, just to get out of the house because they were going stir crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And it's not the best time to be a workaholic, and a workaholic that's outside of the dwelling, because you're going to have to readjust all of that.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
yes.
Yeah, but hopefully better days and to come, and we're coming out of it to some degree, but I need a little bit more time. A little bit more time to feel completely okay. But yeah, because it's taking a toll, honestly, for I think a lot of us. But then there's a lot of great things that have happened for people too. So a lot of people have blossomed in a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And I think that's fantastic. So people started businesses, and I think that's fantastic. Or change careers, or start a family. As crazy as it may have seemed, look, we're not promised tomorrow, so you do the best you can, and when you've got only 24 hours, you really start thinking about what's important in life. yes. So of course, community, I hope that you are thinking of the things that you would do if you only had 24 hours, and definitely share them below. I would love to see the communication with that. It'd be so interesting to see the different variants that you would do and what you find important. And I just enjoyed this conversation with you, Mia. I'm so glad you were gracious enough to come and sit with me and have another chat. So, is there anything else you want to share before we exit stage left?
Yes, I mean, this has been just a fun, intriguing conversation, but I do hope that for the Motivation Suite community that you are able to really just reflect upon your life, think about what is important to you, who is important to you, and how you want to leave that lasting legacy moving forward.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. That is so beautiful. I mean, really. Could you say any other closing remarks? That's like fantastic. Okay, bye. We out here. That is so great. So, you guys, make sure you remember to subscribe to Mia on Instagram, or follow Instagram. Look, we've got so many platforms out here. You're subscribing or following. Just be part of the community, okay? And she's at Mia Miller, because she's Mia Miller.
Yes.
And of course, join the community with me with Motivation Suite on Instagram as well. Follow at Motivate, Inspire, Mentor. We're both doing great things on our individual platforms. So, please. Is there anything else that you want to share? Anything you want to?
I am just so glad to be here with the Motivation Suite community. I look forward to hearing everyone's comments and seeing what they think about the topic on today.
I do too. I think it'll be really fun to see that and kind of just, I don't know, laugh, giggle, and then maybe cry a little bit. Somebody's going to say something that's going to be like, oh my God, that's really hard for me. But if anything in this today's episode, I would definitely say, look, make sure you are living your life with intention. Make sure you're living your life with forethought, because you don't want to end your life with a full gamut of regret. So
absolutely.
For those things that you've had, challenges you may have had in the past, leave them in the past, heal from them, do what you need to do to move forward from them. Challenges you come up with, look at those opportunities for a win. So, that's one of the things I think is really important when you're looking at how you're going to live your life, is that you only have 24 hours, right? And I pray you have more. Definitely.
Yes.
So I think that about does it for us. I'm so excited that you were able to spend another bit of time with us here on Motivation Suite. So thank you so much. And I think that does it. So bye.